Hello and welcome to the preview of Randwick. We're back to Randwick. Mark, we've had Mark Limborn, Aaron Racy, hello there.
Hello Dallas.
Dallas, we've had 0.2 of a millimetre, which means the track can be upgraded from heavy 8 to a soft 7.
Yes, but we have had, what are we now, almost 2 weeks of clear weather, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's got to be close to a 4.
Yeah, speaking with Navesh, he's pretty... If everything goes right between now and then, which means no dews in the morning. Yes, exactly right. Today's going to stay like this, isn't it? Not overly warm, but clear. So we'll get that tick. It all comes down to the dew in the morning. And if there's no...
Will be our first 4 on a Saturday?
I think since the BMW day at Rose Hill.
Really?
I think that's the last time we had a good track.
Well, you're calling it a good track.
Yeah,
it used to be a dead.
Yeah, a 4. Well, 4s are good now, but I don't agree with that. But first time since March. Rail 3 metres on a drying dead track. Lane.
Yeah. I think Randwick has through the winter certainly was always deadly in the true position, but wasn't quite as deadly as you would like in the wider position. So whilst I'd be looking at Gate 1 with a lot of circumspection.
Yeah, but in saying that though, Mark, they all do get off the fence now. So Gate 1 almost becomes a little bit.
It's all about field size, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when you're dealing with 6, 7 and 8 horse fields, those inside draws aren't as problematic as it's once you're in the 13, 14, 15 horse fields, that Gate 1 is just
out of play. Anyway, so we're saying a 4. We're saying that's the way that it's going to play. Before we get into it, the big news of the week, a couple of things but firstly, we will talk about race speed profiles are back, Mark. And we're very happy to be back.
You timed it perfectly, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a good meeting to start with. One, it's not too big, so it doesn't take as much work, and then 2, there's enough angles to work with. So we had a huge spring last year, and going to do the same again. Vince is keen, I'm keen. We've already done Sydney, and I think we've found quite a few angles there, and Melbourne is to come, and Melbourne at Flemington is your typical big, huge cards. So we'll do that this afternoon. But
Is the Ori Star on tomorrow?
Yep, the Ori Star. Shiraz and Trust in August.
It's actually interesting. Usually those Sydney horses in Melbourne, where it's a 6-4 shot, they'll put it up $3.50. And then it gets back here. No, they just put it straight up $2.40.
Yeah, early Trust in August went up. Tab went up. Trust in August favourite early, very quickly. Yeah, but it changed quickly. Anyway, race speed profiles. You can buy a package to get you through the carnivals for Sydney and or Melbourne or both. $6.99 for the one state, $13.49 for the 2, or just buy them casually from the site. But just go through. I click through to the product shop and find the race speed profiles and jump on board. Should be a huge spring, and it's time to get started again. And we'll get started with the Randwick form, Mark and Aaron. The first race sees Winetails, $4.20-ish, hard to hold $4.80, and $6 for Echo Gal, or thereabouts.
Yes. There's not much moving, is there?
What? Any betting, Aaron?
No, not particularly.
It's sort of an uninspiring race to begin with, because those in the Winetails camp have to put up with Gate 1 and Rory Hutchings.
Yes, it's a sort of a...
And 1,200. It's just... Yeah, should we discuss it first?
Okay, cool. Well, Miss Timpin's probably an Destino lead, and Echo Gal's sort of not too far away. It's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they would like to be positive on Echo Gal, but Ilmia Destino has been...
league pinner.
Yes, she's been very focused on the way back. Judicial Rock looks to get a good spot, as does Hard to Hold. Holy Delusions finally gets not a bad configuration for her. Define and Winetails out the back. What do you want to do with Winetails, Aaron?
Yeah, yes, with the Winetails.
I'm liking your 3 horses at the back. I think they should go with a good tempo, and I think they're the 3 better horses.
I want you to talk about Winetails, Aaron.
Yeah. Winetails. I've seen it at the trials. She's a new horse.
Just in saying that, explain it.
She was always a horse that shows a little bit of ability, but she was kind of a little bit gangly, I thought. She hadn't filled out yet. She wasn't in proper proportions. She's come back. She looks like a serious racehorse. She's filled out. She's stronger. Thank God she's getting a good track.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't
Desperate
want to be finding her. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be finding her on a wet track.
Yeah. All right.
And ability-wise, well, she's a horse that still looks to have a lot more upside than any of the horses in the race.
Yeah. I guess the question in my mind is that she got to 2,000 last preparation, so 1,200 is, 1,300 is
I think
in the tail of the
2,000
donkey.
was just ridiculous. Why I even went there, I do not know. I think she's a miler out now, and I think 1,200 first up's perfect.
Yeah, I don't mind the 1,200 first up. I think
it's ideal.
her first up runs haven't been too bad. Last time 1,400 metres she was Jimmy Cassie, Barrier 1, Warwick Farm True in what was it, the Surround or whatever, so didn't compete. And the prep before over 1,400 metres she didn't do too bad. What we saw in the numbers is she's got a very good finish. And that can be dulled a bit at 1,400 metres, so fresh 1,200, she should be able to ping a little bit more.
1,300 being the ideal distance.
Quite possibly, yes.
And she only carried the blinkers in that ill-fated run in South Australia, didn't she?
I believe
Because
so.
I don't think I had
I can't
blinkers
remember
on
blinkers
before
on on and off. There you go. What are you saying about Winetails, mate, Mark?
Oh, I'm just straight batting. I'm not. She doesn't grab me, but nothing grabs me in the race. It's like marked her equal favourite, and
Well, Echo Gal's the other horse you marked equal favourite. Let's talk about it. Getting onto a dry track is a big tick, and getting fitter is a big tick, and the combination of the two being unfit and on a wet track, which is unsuitable for her, I think has been two big things pulling her back.
Yes, I think the discussion point pertaining to this race is about the fact that we have a horse in this race with seemingly few form credentials that ran in the other distance race a fortnight back and ran in the second faster race. So what does that tell us about the mares that ran in that lead-up race, and should we just be binning the whole lot?
Well, I'm just beating Echo Girl. I've always said it's not a horse, and I still think it's not a horse. I think it ran fast times one day and it was fit. Whatever else happened with it.
The day Curo beat it.
It had done it.
It's run out of its skin. It's run out of its skin, but I don't.
Yeah, but that was also the last times it was up and running and on a dry track too.
Yeah, it's a possibility. If it beats me, it beats me. But
I just thought with Echo Gal just jumped into that, probably the spot you want to be in. Pace doesn't look overly silly, and just going to be there and pull into the lane and get the advantage. It gets a lot of in-run advantages, doesn't it, Echo Gal?
Yeah, but it seems vulnerable to something that's on its back.
All right, Judicial Rock. Mark, you said it's getting the good run. As you mentioned, it comes from the different form line. Sort of, it's got a bit of solidness to it some way, I suppose, does it?
Maybe. I mean, it she had a gear change of blinkers off, I think. But was it last time? But I noticed she's been marked very tightly in the race, hasn't she?
Is 1,200 an issue? She's never won of it. She has had one or two good runs at the distance, but never won of it.
I think she's just
She seems
and
to
just an
1,100
average.
get on.
Yeah,
Run on the sprint.
I just think she's just an average horse that sort of runs around average numbers and is there if things are less than average.
Aaron, you wanted to mention the other two blouses, Define and Holy Delusions.
Yeah,
are you prepared to be on them?
Yes. I thought I'm with Winetails and either one of those two, depending on how they parade on the day. Defiant's been a bit of a cat of a horse, and I think one thing that helps those horses is blinkers first time.
Yeah, okay.
And that's usually the day you want to find them. I think Gerald knows he's not going to go forward on it or anything. They're going to hold her up, and let her attack the line. She gets the run so soon.
Okay.
And the other horse, Holy Delusions. Last run was good, wrong part of the track. Worked up the inside, and I did like the trial between the runs.
Is Glyn going to have any success for Waller? Is he just the marking time man?
Yeah, could well do, but Holy Delusions is a horse that he has sort of got on well with, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
first up at Rosehill he did win on it 2 preparations ago.
Yeah,
So the answer is a pineapple for me, Dal. I mean, I've been accused of being too hard on Winetails, and possibly that's the case. I certainly think Echo Gal is set up to improve tomorrow, but I'm not prepared to stake my claim.
It's slightly sweets in the race. Would you mark it
With Kathy on it?
Yes, of course.
Anyway,
I guess so, but I see Slightly Sweet as being, whilst she's obviously got a number of runs with Winetails that mark them similar, I see them as being slightly different horses. Winetails being a little more dour than than slightly sweet. But
Oh, really? So I said it's the opposite. I just think she's poorly placed, and she was only delicate if she was trained that way.
okay.
All right, anyway, well, I'm Winetails, Echo Gal, Winetails, depending on how they parade.
Right.
Beautiful. That's race 1. Race 2. Before we get into that, Steve Fletcher. Service is going enormous, whether it's the $20 one or whether it's the Saturday one, race by race, it's either Sydney or Melbourne. But this week you have an amazing offer that if you sign up for the $20 service, you will get the Saturday service for both Sydney and Melbourne for free.
Beautiful.
So you pay $20 and you get the other $99 service for free. So just go to the site, click on. Yeah.
What?
It's called a lost leader mark. Yeah, so we want people to check out Fletcher's stuff. It's the time of year to start trying things. So get back into the game. This is the get back into the game week. Sort of get ready, and then from now on we are into the spring. So yeah, jump on board. $20 with Fletch. You'll get his weekly service, which it'll be too late by the time you see this. You get a couple of tips of a Friday, 4 or 5 of a Wednesday, 4 or 5 of a Saturday, and they're running at about 200% profit, Aaron, the little $20 strikes.
Flying.
And yeah, they're typical Fletch type tips too, aren't they? Just high, wide and handsome, Wodonga, Broom.
Out wide.
Yeah, there's a lot of out wideness there. So yeah, that's during the week. But then the Saturday ones, I think Fell Swoop and old mate, what was the Tasmanian horse that won? Valiant, whatever it was, Valiant Warrior. Yeah, the way that Fletch described it, like he said, we will be betting up on Fell Swoop, but we believe it's going to get to 350. And as you saw in the ring, as soon as it got to 350, they bet right up, and it won. And the same sort of mail with Valiant Warrior, which was very well found in the end, but as forecast by Fletch. So not only are you getting the great winners, but you're also getting great marketing information as well too. But try it out. It's only going to cost you $20 this week. Huge offer. And the Sky Racing handicap is over 1,200 metres. Himalaya Dream is $3. Ins and outs in Himalaya Dream are basically sorting it out for equal favouritism about the $3.20 mark. And that's ahead of El Sasso at $5.
So Himalaya Dream's just there on pure talent. You know, 1,200 metres just doesn't.
All right, well, let's talk about Himalaya Dream. You've seen the trials, Aaron. Beat Temple of Boom. You were very impressed with it.
Yes, loved it. I just love the way he was able to settle. Like when we saw him doing, he rolled to the front in that slow pace race. He actually just settled off that horse. He just pulled himself straight up to it. Exceptional.
Yep. All right, love him.
That's very pleasing to the eye, the way he was able to, like, Temple of Boom was getting really ridden along, and he's just pulled up to it like, what's wrong with you?
Fair enough. And I mean, whilst it was Temple of Boom's first trial, we'll talk about him later on, he's only coming off 50 odd days. So that trial would have only been probably 40 days after a run, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mark, Himalaya Dream, it's probably got the pace to almost accidentally lead, even though they probably won't, will they? They won't want to.
Wouldn't they be better off to lead? Because you wouldn't want to be behind a roadblock like Marseille Roulette.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Is it a roadblock?
Marseille Roulette.
Yes.
It's a pretty slow horse.
Okay.
You know, I'm not suggesting that it necessarily will be behind it, but if it were to be behind it, I would be less than enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's not much here. I mean, Ins and Outs has been ridden conservatively in his 2 runs back. He's now third up and drawn the alley to.
It looks like zonk there, doesn't it? Yeah.
You know, like to strut his stuff if he's got any stuff to offer. El Sasso looks to posse up, and you know, we saw nothing like Luca couldn't keep up the other day back in town, so he wouldn't appear to be part of the van. So. You know, look, Himalaya Dream would love to see Ins and Outs like Highball and peel off his back, wouldn't he?
But would the engagement of one James Cassidy on Marseille Roulette, will he just go straight to the front? Welcome back, Jimmy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I'm sure that'll be the plan.
Yeah. Jimmy first up.
You know, that was a really slow race at Canterbury.
Himalaya Dream overly fast, so over 1,200.
Look, it's only you're looking at the trial and going, wow, 1,200 can work for this horse, but I wouldn't have imagined it before. Like it came from overseas with middle distance wins, but I mean it.
I always find when they come from overseas, whatever they were, you bring like 2 distance points down.
Well, and you'd like to see them prepared like that too. The trainers won't necessarily work it out.
Yes,
but I think you're right. They are classier than their distance range wins indicate.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so what are we saying about his chances over 1,200 metres on Saturday, Himalaya Dream?
Well, I would prefer to see him not drawn back at 1.
Yeah.
Look, I'm highly respectful, Dal.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not. It doesn't. That sort of always doesn't work for me.
No.
You know, like you present a trialer, first upper. That's just not my cup of tea.
No.
But obviously, lots of them win. So obviously, you're best off talking to the person that is into those.
Yeah,
horses.
that finds
I do
those
like
sort of
those
horses.
horses.
So are you betting up here, Aaron?
No, I'm not at current price.
Right.
But I think there will be people that will oppose him for all those reasons and could quite easily see him get
I
close
mean,
to that
it
$4 mark.
is worth
And then
noting what he did in his first prep in Australia off 500 odd days too.
I think
so.
I think the one trial's the good thing here because he will be fresh enough and he should just be able to sit there sprint. And I think he's the horse that looks like he could be the black type horse.
Yep.
And these are all benchmark ratings horses.
I think we've pretty much worked that out
Yeah.
by now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, from the others, working it back from probably as you mentioned, the horse that looks like should get the gun run. Ins and outs. Coming to its peak, third up, back up, all that looks good. Aaron, it paraded very big first up, trimmed down a few lengths, but still looked like it had that to go. It still looked like that had to go again too, didn't it? So it's sort of the way that it's raced. It's
But how does that work? That's Gerald Ryan.
Yeah, I
third
know.
up. I mean,
Well, he had this feature interview with Gerald Ryan during the week.
All of his, I think we do rubber stamp him for that, but not all of his horses do parade like that.
This horse definitely looks like it was a horse that was probably set for third or fourth up.
Okay.
Yeah, the way that it presented and the way that it presented last week, it's definitely
Yeah.
a progressing.
In saying that, I think it's way under the odds for my liking.
For a horse that really
well,
hasn't
it's a
done
bit of a
much.
shallow race, Aaron.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, I mean, what do you want to quantify as serious chances?
Yeah, where's your other percentage?
Himalaya Dream, I mark favourite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah.
I'd mark Selectify shorter, and I think Marseille Roulette's got a good chance. I like the way if there was a horse that was fat first up, it was this horse. It was as fat as a pig. They took it on, it looked gone, and it kept fighting to the line. I like the way it really boxed on.
Can I just make a point back to ins and outs though? Ins and outs are going to be much better on the dry track.
Yes. I think Marseille Roulette would be much better on a dry track too.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not overly potting ins and outs, not at all. But I'm not that keen on the race at the current quotes.
Mark?
No, I have to agree with it. It's a no-bet race for me, but you know, there are factors for ins and outs, which is the third up, quick back up, and the wide draw. And he did sit inside the other day, but at the same time, it was sort of one of those races where to run on from back in the field to be beaten 3 lengths by fell swoop is not particularly inspiring.
No, exactly. So he's got a lot.
But I mean, he sort of, yeah. I have to tip ins and outs, but as I say, I'm not betting them.
Yeah, no, I was able to mark them both about where they are in the market. So, yeah, I was
No
sort of.
play race almost.
Oh,
And
look,
do you know this shipper at all, Aaron? Have you
come down to how it
The which horse?
the
Turf Crusher.
the Cranbourne trained horse?
We had it of numbers 3 billion to 1. So yeah, it's done nothing. And I've got to say that going forward into the carnival turn, I'm sure we'll find another few of them this time. Is when the Adelaide numbers come across from Adelaide to Melbourne, we're normally right on top of them. Can find some good winners, and that doesn't happen. So anyway, beautiful. All right, that's race 2. I'm happy with the market. I reckon it's about right.
Yeah, it seems.
All right, moving to race 3 is over 2,000 metres. Yeah, Dream Fate, Brilliant Meteor and Dukia are equal favourites. Mark, Dukia leads. Is that how you see it?
Well, the planets aligned for me here, which doesn't necessarily mean they win. It just means that I'm like a moth to a flame.
Yes.
You know, Jimmy having the lead-up ride in the previous race.
yeah.
And then, look, I'd be really happy if this was 1,800 metres. But nevertheless, Duccio does control this race. He's a youngish horse, third up from a solid break. 21 days is probably less than ideal, but there's not much happening here.
No, there's a big clump of them at the back, isn't there?
I imagine that Plutorius may get into a sort of a gun-shy position, like a gunshot position.
Yep.
Brilliant Meteor won't be far away. It was given, Blake Shin through everything he possibly could at it at Warwick Farm.
It was just pathetic.
Like he's run third. Pathetic is having that run and dropping out.
He had Frank Who's run on and couldn't win.
Yeah, but it was a fair bit gutsier than Franco's race.
Yeah, so.
I'm not in the brilliant meteor camp. I'm just saying that I'm just being contrary, really, with the verse. So yes, I was drawn immediately to Dusher, and the other thing I wanted to say in the race was that Slivovic was, has been a bit of a city struggler, but had a lot of things against him at Newcastle.
He was one of the biggest runs I've seen in a provincial race in a long while.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not really keen to bet in the race, but God, it was a big run.
Yep, okay. All right.
Dale, you want to suggest
No, I
something?
don't have any suggestions. No, Dukey. I know we say it often about the Gay is the one that can do it getting up in distance, but it's still up in distance with what 450 metres up in distance. And it is Jimmy, and it's all that. It's probably the default position, but I can't. These are not races I like, Mark. So no, I have no opinion. I got in it and got out of it very quickly.
Yeah, but the lead up 4 weeks ago, that Casino Dancer, Loophole, and Dewar ran in. I mean, Dewar was the best of those three, wasn't it? But
Wasn't it?
turns up here on
Outstanding
a,
run.
it turns up here on a different, like, wet to dry, 28 days off, in another like race that's not configured particularly well. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And is it a wet tracker? Is that...
Well, that's. There is this theory that says, like a la Lucky Liaison on Wednesday, that you can take same track form irrespective of condition, but we'll have to sit that one out.
Yeah, lovely. Anyway, well, no play for me. You're keen on Jikio.
Yeah, look, as I say, I'm drawn like a moth to a flame.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And you'll note that same expression later in the proceedings.
There it is. Okay, beautiful. Aaron, nothing?
Not interested.
All right, cool. Neither am I. Before we get to race 4, well, this is the start of real Mounting Yard Mile races, obviously. This time of year, as we say, or this time of season, we should say, coming into the start of the carnivals, whether it be spring or autumn, is Mounting Yard Mail time. Glenn normally wins, and wins very well, as does Warren. Jump on board the Mounting Yard Mail.
That's when he lets himself win, Dale.
Yeah, exactly. He's allowed to feel good about it.
I think his adherents are in a slightly better position than he is.
Yes.
You know, they don't have that vexatious head to actually
No, they
work
don't.
through.
No, exactly right. No, you just get it and there it is. But yeah, I mean, obviously a good edge from the Mounting Yard, as you know, and this time of year is just vital. Whether you back the horses that we suggest, which, as I said, you'll be winning if you do, or whether it's just to get a guide on whatever it is. It might be the 3rd and 4th pick, but we've given it a tick from the yard. You like it, and away you go. Then you can bet with confidence. So you really do need to be getting that insight, and it is an edge that doesn't get overly factored into the market. So it is an edge that we can profit from. So Mounting Yard Mail, whether it be Sydney, whether it be Melbourne, the boys will be winning again, leading into the spring. For the 2-year-olds, or 3-year-olds now, the Rosebud, Regisi is $2.80 in favourite, $4.60 Sebring Sun, and Van Bro, your mate Aaron, $5.
Why is he Aaron's mate?
Oh, because it was going to be a superstar or something like that. Anyway,
You dropped off, have you?
I was betting up on it first up, thinking you'd had more ability than you.
who leads it, Mark?
Well, the two from out wide are pushing on, but I'd suggest that Lieutenant and Voilier may have something to say about the lead. But on the face of it, Let's Make It Rain and Can Be Bossing from the deep. As I say, Lieutenant and Voilier certainly positioning up, or no worse than positioning up. Tatouche back along the inside, H. Bowman to D. Beasley. Ragis midfield, Vanbrugh on the back of Ragis if Sebring Sun can't occupy that position.
So you keep going.
It's not Springdale.
No, exactly.
Oh, you're a month early.
Oh.
He was a month early.
Okay.
It does have that freshness about it.
Yes, it's cold.
It does.
All right, okay, Regis, we'll hear from Aaron about what he thinks about the trial. What did you think about the trial, Mark?
Oh well, you know.
It was a trial?
It was a trial.
Yeah.
The trial. I mean, when I don't really get interested in trials of racehorses, but
No.
I mean,
Aaron,
obviously that's your thing.
Aaron does. What did you make of the trial, Aaron?
It was outstanding.
Yeah.
Very
What did you
good.
like about it?
He looks a more professional horse.
Yep.
That's I think not
He'd
just
need to
someone-
be.
Yeah.
Well, the
Exactly.
2 races he's coming out of is rubbish.
The 2 races come out of rubbish.
Yeah, Tarquin and the Pride of Dubai size produce, which I know did feed into the
So
Champagne
you say the
Stakes, but-
size is rubbish.
Yeah, horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he'll
this
end up
horse,
being a-
this horse is showing vast. Like
Not saying
I
it-
found him on debut.
Yeah.
And there was not a coin for him.
No.
He was given no chance.
Hated, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Hated. You know why it might be? Because he really has set world records on what you shouldn't do in the parade ring. Like he's absolute. Saying he went to pieces is not.
An understatement.
Each time.
Yeah, So what Aaron said at the trials, I'm interested in.
Yeah,
in the
well,
fact,
I mean that.
Yeah.
Because I mean he had that size produce by the scruff of the neck,
Yeah.
didn't he?
But I think the horse that beat it could be the best 3-year-old in the country, and it just has a will to win.
Yeah, but I mean Raggies did.
You
Walk away from that race going, well, I'm going to be very circumspect with that horse in the future because it looked to sort of not go on with it.
Yeah.
I just thought he was very, in that whole prep, he was green, he was kind of gangly, he had this big frame,
Yeah.
he was another horse that hadn't grown into his body, and he used to race ungenerously and do things wrong, and you watch that trial, he jumped, he relaxed, he cruised, he said, here's the straight, and he just pulled Tommy through it, and went bang. He just looks like a real racehorse now.
Well,
What price do you want?
What price do I want? I'd like to see him first, but I think
because if he
that's
parades,
probably a sensible approach.
I'd like
Yeah.
to see him.
Yeah,
I'd like to see. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the $4 as well. I think he's another one that a lot of people are going to oppose him. Big weight, all that other jazz. They're going to oppose him.
And how do you think the stable feels about him? Because of course, routinely we see these sorts of races, Dal, where the conditions of the race
yes.
mean that the stable go,
That's right.
not our group, it's not its
it's not its grand final exactly.
Because
it'll be
because they're
big
waiting
time.
for the day that it meets them on level weights.
Yeah.
But does he still
when,
not need to get in?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He still need to get in though. That's the
And I'm
problem.
assuming they've got him into tomorrow to get him right for the run to the Rose to try and exactly win that.
Well,
but
but the
this
run
is
to the Rose might be his day then.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Yes.
But surely
Anyway,
if it's that, he's got to be forward enough to it, I think.
my point of view is a bit like Mark's though. Is that the 3 races he's done, numbers-wise, have been appalling. I'm not saying that he can't improve with that. With Manners, obviously, he's got a lot up his sleeve. But I think there's a couple of others that have got decent scores on the scoreboard.
Well, there's 2 horses that I haven't really managed to find, but I would love to be on those. There is Voilier and Zootenant.
Okay, well let's talk about Voilier. Aaron have paraded very, very, very big first up.
Big, fat and woolly and hit the line.
And
Good.
probably did better than you'd expect. I think outside the lane, and ran on better than you'd expect from the way that it paraded. My worry is though is how far behind was it, and is he going to be able to make up the necessary ground to still parade satisfactorily to be able to win this race?
The gap between runs is probably ideal.
It helps, but it's. I mean, I want to see it, but I mean, it's got a long way to go, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because I mean, the Japanise me line seems to be the line you want to be following into these 3-year-old races. The 2 horses I mentioned have got that line.
Yeah, absolutely. One of them's in the back end.
Yeah.
Lovely. So, Villiers, you said that. Mark, what are you saying about the Let's Make It Rain Van Bro line?
Well, vexed.
Yes.
Vexed. I can't get rid of Vanbrugh. And of course, he did run shorter than Raggies when they met it.
Yes.
In that Poxy bloody slipper trial, but
Tego.
I certainly think that number 1 is the testing material, but I can't mark it short. And once again, it's a race that can't get me betting. I suppose Sebring Sun was perfectly ridden by Bowman first up, but seems like a last man standing sort of.
Yep.
He's the sort of horse that's going to be deadly going up in grade because he conserves his powder.
Yeah, exactly right. He's come back. The win was
He was
okay.
a horse that was a bit of a lunatic himself. When
Yes,
he was young,
yes,
and
he
was.
was,
A horse
yeah.
that ran into a lot of trouble.
That's right.
If you
I
go
forgot
through
about
a
that.
lot of his runs, he should have finished a lot closer against horses that you muck short in this race.
Yeah, I think he's the default position, to be truthful. Up and running, has the win on the board, is there,
And he's
has better numbers on the scoreboard than Regrease. So Seabree sung for me, and really, obviously there's a parade, but really interested to see how Voilier has come on. And I don't know about Let's Make It Rain and Vanbrugh almost the same, aren't they? They're both.
I'd mark Vanbrugh ahead of Let's Make It Rain.
But I think what my point being with them is that they're both horses that are going to improve on the dry. They both paraded big first up. They both made pretty good improvement first and second up, and you know they're now third up, and you expect them to be right where they should be.
A lot of these Waller horses that ran outstanding first up on these heavy tracks have had flat runs second up.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So are you saying that they can recover from that third up, or they
Yeah,
need...
I think we're still finding out, but I think they can. Well, you saw Rockalicious. It couldn't have looked fatter first up, and it won.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a maiden, but it didn't exactly go to a very hard next race. And
No,
the race
it
rather
did not.
flat on Wednesday.
It did not. It ended its partner Nash. The other point about Sebring Sundale is, of course, that Patelli's got a new lease of life
Yeah.
since the
It was game on for
since the
everyone.
lowering of the bar.
Yeah, exactly right. Is it that Gary's got a new sense of life, or others have got less of a sense of life?
Yeah. Well, whatever
it is.
But suddenly,
in
Jimmy
bizarro
Lee,
world.
Jimmy Lee, Amanda Turner, Gary Portelli, Kim Waugh, they're all like potent trainers.
Who was
They
other?
have just been trying to dabble in new things as
Mick
well.
Gallagher.
Yeah. No, Mick Gallagher. It's all happening. But anyway, yeah. Gary's going probably in as good as form as he's been in for a couple of years, isn't he? As far as churning out winners go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's some suggestion that Gary might be sharing the load.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh, okay, fair enough. All right. Well, anyway, Sebring Sun is my default position, and the others interested to see how they parade. Anything from anyone?
I'm Regeese from probably Sebring Sun.
Yeah. No.
Well, honourable mentions to Voilia and Lieutenant.
Yep. Perfect. All right. Well, that's part one of the preview.